Sorry guys, another try. Hopefully this time we are luckier than before. Waiting for Thom to join us. Thom, are you there? Getting connected. Thank you, thank you. Cannot see you, but glad you joined us. Не может присоединиться. Sorry guys, some technical problems because our guest seems to be unable to connect. But we hope for the best, of course. Maybe it's all about poor internet connection. It happens. So in case Thom won't be able to join us, okay, hello, coming from Thom. Maybe finally, let's see. I cross my fingers. Hello, finally.
Wow. Sorry.
Finally. Oh my God.
This is so very different. The phone interface and the computer interface are completely different. I was trying to do it on the computer for the bandwidth, but there was no option to have a live to join your to join the call from my phone from my computer. Anyway, I'm here now on the phone. Thank goodness.
Oh my God. Yeah, you know, this is the first live talk for Thom on Instagram as well as for me. Sorry guys for those challenging problems, but okay, finally you are online. Thank you for joining us today. I prepared a list of questions that are coming from teachers. I do believe that the answers to the questions might help them to decide whether the IELTS trainer course that we are going to introduce today is suitable for them. But I do think it is essential to say a couple of words about NILE first before we start the discussion of the course.
Great, thank you very much, Elena. Thank you for the invite to be with you today. I'm delighted to be making my Instagram debut. I'm sure it won't be the last. It's always got to be a first time. As we teachers know, walking into a new class for the first time is always a daunting step. But here we are, and I'm here sitting in my office at NILE in Norwich. NILE is the Norwich Institute for Language Education, and it's our 25th birthday this year. And that means for the last 25 years, we've been working with teachers, specifically language teachers from around the world, on all sorts of teacher development projects. Everything from initial pre-service teacher training, the kind of CELTA, Trinity Cert, TESOL courses you'll be familiar with, right through to a master's program, which is the biggest master's program for people in teaching English to speakers of other languages in the UK. And in the middle, between those pre-service and kind of in-service external qualifications, we do a huge range of specific focused teacher development courses. And one of those is the IELTS trainer course, which is specifically designed for people who prepare students for the IELTS exam. We have run this for several years now. Elena's been bringing groups to us in Norwich in the UK, where we were able to run it face to face. We've had some iterations in Russia itself. And very recently, we've successfully moved everything online in response to pandemic situations, which we're all well aware of. And NILE's had an online division for the last 6 years, and we have an award-winning platform and run about 80 or 90 different teacher development courses through our online platform every year. So I hope we have the credentials to offer a course to Russian teachers of IELTS students.
Sure, sounds great. The first question I've got is, who can apply? Should it be a teacher, a well-experienced teacher, somebody who has been preparing for IELTS for years, or it might be somebody who has downloaded some books, has bought something, and is starting from scratch? For whom is this program?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking for participants to be either current or intending future teachers helping students prepare for the IELTS exam. The fact that the course is tutored means that the tutor can adapt and respond to different levels of experience within the course platform, within the course program. There's a lot of tutor support in there. So whether you're coming to this as a relatively new person to IELTS and you really want to get an understanding of the structure of the test and what the criteria really mean in practice, and you want some tips for teaching ideas for your own classroom with your students, that's all in there. But if you want to extend your knowledge of really what underpins what the examiner's looking for, and you want some kind of advanced understanding of the assessment principles underlying the IELTS test and how the grading criteria apply to different samples of students' work, that's in there as well. So we can adapt the content to the individuals within the course, and that's very much part of the tutor's role. It's very much part of the NILE ethos, I would say, that we work with the participants. We don't just produce materials. So everything is tailored to the individuals who make up a particular course.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that this is a tailor-made course, which means you got a pre-questionnaire in which you specify your requirements, and the tutor is very flexible about the program. You will 99% get the answers to all your questions. And the second question that worries the teachers a lot is, how many participants are there in the group? Do we communicate with each other, or we communicate directly with the tutor only?
Yeah, it's a good question. So again, this is part of the NILE ethos. We believe that there are different ways of learning within a course, and that doesn't matter whether that's an online course or whether that's a face-to-face course. And those ways are learning from the tutor, of course, learning from the materials, the videos, the resources, the samples that are part of the course, but equally learning from other course participants and learning and building on your own experience. So there are 4 types of input you're going to get from that course. One of them is yourself, one of them is your fellow course participants, one of them is the tutor, and one of them are the materials that we've prepared as part of this. And that means we need to encourage peer-to-peer co-constructed learning. So talking to other participants, sharing your ideas, sharing your own experiences, and that means we keep the course to a maximum of 16 participants, which we found works very well in terms of allowing that interaction, but getting a diversity and a variety of teacher profiles within that. So yes, there's lots of communication with the tutor, lots of individual feedback, lots of support for you to take away lesson ideas and materials for your classes, but there's also this co-constructed learning with other course participants.
Okay. Teachers also want to know whether all the teachers on the course get the certificate. Is that kind of examination at the end, or you are guaranteed to get the certificate? Let's say you pay and you get it. Does it work?
Right. Well, our reputation is on the line here, so we're only going to give away NILE certificates for people who've done the course. And doing the course doesn't mean just logging on the first day and then collecting the certificate on the last day. So we have a number of different models of certification. If people want to take the course and just do a certificate of participation, then that means they need to participate in 80% of the activities within a unit. So typically within a unit, there's about 7 or 8 activities. Some of those may be live sessions, some of those may be discussions, some of those may be accessing materials and thinking of your own ideas. So participating in 80% by the end of the course will get you a certificate of participation. Now, when the tutor keeps a log of that, if you have that certificate of participation at the end of the course, you will also have the option to do an assignment, and the assignment is part of the fee that you pay for the course, and that means you get graded individual feedback on your assignment. And typically an assignment would be preparing a lesson plan, for example, for a particular IELTS specific focus with a group of students, or some materials that may be materials for exploiting a particular type of language for part 2 of the speaking exam, for example, or for useful phrases for the task 1 writing. So a piece of material that you could use with your students. And newly, from September, we're going to have a 3rd certification option, which is a really nice one. It's this new Trinity Certificate for Practicing Teachers. And this is a new qualification at level 6 on the national or the international qualifications framework that's being launched by Trinity College London, who you'll probably know do teacher development courses, do language exams, do worldwide qualifications. And they've chosen 10 providers worldwide who can offer this certificate for practicing teachers in its first year. And NILE's one of those because we're long-term partners of Trinity. So we've been able to add this as an assessment option, a certification qualification option to the course, which means that when you get to the end of the IELTS trainer course, you can do the Trinity assignments, and there are 4 of those, and then they'll be moderated by NILE, moderated by Trinity, and you'll also receive a Trinity certificate for practicing teachers as an outcome from the course. So a number of different certification options within the same course.
Awesome news, I would say. And there is also one more bonus. If you take up IELTS trainer course, you can get Take Your Teaching Online, which is a highly successful course for free as an addition, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is a something that we put together for teachers worldwide in response to the pandemic and the fact that so many teachers were switching to online training. Now, you'll get a very good view of how we at NILE view the potentials for asynchronous and synchronous online training just by doing the IELTS course itself as a participant. But we've also put together a course that helps teachers plan their own online teaching, whether that's preparing asynchronous content, using platforms to have students communicating outside the live sessions, tips for using materials and ideas and resources in live sessions. And that's a kind of a standalone course that we're offering for free as an additional complementary bonus to the IELTS course. There's nothing specific in the IELTS course about teaching IELTS students online, but by combining the two, you get this richness of experience and an additional bonus. And that, of course, can be done. It's a self-access course, so it can be done at a time of your own choosing. You can dip into it over the next 3 months from when you start the IELTS course.
Okay. Maybe
it's had, sorry, just to add, it's been incredibly successful in terms of both the feedback we've got for it, but also from the numbers. So there have been over 5,000 teachers worldwide who've done this course with us since March, and all these extreme circumstances came to bear on us.
Amazing numbers, really. Also, we have spoken about online, and teachers worry that they might be not taking enough to browse the system, to upload the materials, to navigate the system. Is it easy enough?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Elena, you're probably a more genuine voice than I am, because obviously we would support our own platform and defend our own platform, but we've had thousands and thousands of teachers from contexts around the world, from super techie people who are on our masters and doing a module on technology-assisted language learning, to people this is their very first experience of online learning, and all they really have is an email address. And we guide through it. There's an orientation unit, a whole FAQ section with videos on how the different activities work. And we also grade it. We scaffold the difficulty of the tasks in the early units so that the earliest tasks are using the most basic, simple applications, contributing to a forum, posting on a notice board, messaging your tutor, communicating with your participants, and then we gradually introduce some more of the dynamic interactive tools, the video-based ones, as we go through the units. So by the time you get to the end of it, you'll have quite a rich experience as a participant on how asynchronous online learning can work and how synchronous online learning can work, but we don't expect that before you join the course.
Yeah, and as a participant, I just wanted to add that there is also Andy. He provides technical support. He patiently, gradually, thoroughly explains whatever. So whenever you encounter any technical problems, he can find a solution immediately.
We have a very experienced team here. We have a kind of three-line support. So there's the administrative support, then there's the pedagogical technical support, and then there's the proper technical support if you have browser issues or version issues that we can sort out. So there's all sorts of levels of support to bring in there. But I have to be honest, not many teachers need them because it's a very accessible platform.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely true. Another question is, when should the participants be online? Is there any kind of deadline for the tasks? If they do understand they do not meet their deadline, can they get any extension? What should they do for this? How does it work?
Yeah, look, I think most of us on the call are teachers, and it's going to be the same response to this question as you'd give to your students. Of course, we want you to stick to the deadlines, particularly within the unit weeks, because it makes it better for the course flow and the dynamics. And obviously, we've asked the tutor to mark within a certain time period, so we like to have the assignments handed in within that time period. But we understand that, despite best intentions, sometimes life gets in the way. Little crises appear in your personal life. Workload gets too much at work, and if you need an extension, we're usually very flexible. But we don't set out and say, there's unlimited extensions because, unless you have that little bit of a stick, it's hard to get the time management to get it done. And obviously, we don't want people doing assignments so far after the course that the immediacy of the learning from the course has filtered away.
Okay. One more question concerning the tutor. Is there kind of list of tutors I can choose from? That was the question, real question coming from one teacher. How much feedback is being provided? How much support is being given to the participants? And how do you choose the tutors?
Yeah, well, there's lots of content in the course from different tutors who contribute to it. So personally, I've been an IELTS examiner for 10 years in different contexts around the world and written books on IELTS preparation. And so there are some videos from me in the course. We've also got video content from other tutors who share their experience of what the examiner's looking for in the writing and the speaking sections. We've also got external content in there that's useful for the listening and the reading and the vocabulary. But there's obviously a main tutor for the course. Now, we work largely with the course designer, the real expert who's put the course together, who knows the IELTS course, who's written many IELTS preparation materials, course books for different publishers. So that's Lindsay Warwick, and she's our lead tutor. She's very well known worldwide. In some occasions, we'll bring in a co-tutor, an additional tutor, but it's not a participant's choice. We pride ourselves on having the best tutors, and we pick the best tutor for the course.
Yeah. And I would say, kind of final question: what's the difference between online and offline options? Which is better?
Yeah, good question. I mean, this in a sense. You could approach this from the sense of what each one doesn't have, but I'm going to talk about it from the perspective, I think, of what each one does have. The advantages of doing a face-to-face course, a physical, in the classroom with your course participants, when that's done in your own context, obviously you can stay at home, you get the experience of the the teachers who share your context. You get those hands-on experiential learning ideas. You can put classroom activities into practice and reflect on them. You see the body language of your participants. You get to know people by seeing their eyes. Of course, these are all great things. And if that course is done in the UK, like the groups you've brought to Norwich before, Elena, you get the cultural and the linguistic immersion around the course as well. You know, you're in an English speaking and, more importantly, a written English environment around you the whole time. You can stay with host families and experience life in a UK home, and you get that 100% cultural immersion and free time and shopping and eating out and all those things which wrap around. I'm not going to pretend that we can offer the same experience online, but then you've got to remember that online has a huge range of other advantages. The immediacy of processing in a face-to-face class is sometimes not something that suits everybody. In an online setting, particularly the kind of asynchronous, synchronous blend that we have at NILE, you have time to think about your answers, you have time to process things more deeply, you can do your own research, you can bring your own ideas in, and you can check your responses before posting them. You can just have this deeper engagement with the course content and the course activities. And I think that's a really rich benefit of online learning. To give you an example, as I said, we have the largest masters in English language teaching in the UK, and we have a fair mix over the last 25 years of people who've done the course largely online and people who've done the course face-to-face. And we're proud to say there's no difference in the outcomes they produce, the grades they get for their assignments, the final results they get for their master's dissertations, whether they've followed an online course with us or whether they've followed a face-to-face course with us. And I think that means that the learning outcomes, we maintain the same. It's the wraparound bit that you need to decide which one is really for you. And of course, in our online courses, we add a whole social program dimension to it. There's guided tours of Norwich by video. There's things that are happening around Norwich and the UK that you can get that like cultural feel for things, but from the comfort of your own home and logging in at a time that suits you. Of course, there are a few live sessions in the course which you need to be there at the time that they run, but it's not the same time commitment as a 5-day face-to-face 9-to-5 course that you'd have in a face-to-face setting.
Surely they are quite different, and each of them has its advantages, so you have to choose which one is suitable. Obviously offline is much more expensive, but it has such amazing things like meeting new people, seeing new places, long-term establishment of relationships with other teachers with whom you can talk after classes, before classes, during the breaks. So you have to choose yourself what suits you, right? And just to conclude our talk today, I would like to introduce other programs that NILE provides. So it might be whatever. I mean, you are to choose your field of interest. It might be methodology, and there is a program of materials development, motivation and activities in the classroom, teaching skills. If you are focused on the transition from a teacher to trainer, there is a perfect program from teacher to trainer, or there is a trainer development program. And by the way, NILE also provides the language courses for students, not necessarily for teachers only. So might be of interest for those who want to develop the skills of speaking, writing, whatever, in NILE or online, I guess. Do you have programs online for students as well?
We do have some exam preparation courses. We don't do kind of general language learning courses online because there's a lot out there and we really focus on teacher development. But we can do exam preparation courses and teacher language development courses. And of course, we're always welcome if teachers want to bring a group of students from the institution they're working in to Norwich. We can do bespoke face-to-face courses online on request as well. And yeah, that's very much a part of our year-round business here in Norwich. And for people who don't know Norwich, it is a truly lovely medieval city, cobbled streets, wooden framed buildings. The building I'm sitting in now was built in 1506, and it's a really beautiful historic environment, small city in the east of England to get to know. And we'd love to welcome some of you here, or to join us online and save the visit to Norwich for next year.
Yeah, sure. And whenever you have got any questions as to the fees, as to the terms of payment, as to the dates, just contact me directly. You can find me on any social nets, or you may find me on Instagram. That is Pozhidaeva Prof English. I will gladly answer all your questions. Thank you, Thom, for joining us today. Though it was kind of challenging, we've done it.
We got there.
Have a nice day. Have a nice week. Bye-bye.
Great. Thank you so much, Elena. It's been great to talk to you and to people who are listening and watching. And please do contact Elena. It's great to have someone based there who knows Russian teachers' needs and knows what we at NILE can deliver. So a great bridge between us. Thank you very much, Elena.
Bye. Thank
Bye-bye.
you, everybody.